Back with the new Jxmyhighroller video, bro. It's been a minute, but we're back. Subscribe to the channel, bro. It's playoffs, man. Come on. Let's get straight into it.
Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Paul, Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, Stephen Curry, Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, John Morant, Jaylen Brown, DeAndre Ayton, Kyrie Irving, Pascal Siakam, Desmond Bane, Jordan Poole, Brandon Clark, Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, CJ McCollum, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Klay Thompson, and Nikola Vucevic. Now,
he just named a bunch of good NBA players. I don't know what this is.
You may be asking yourself, why did I just name 26 random NBA players with absolutely no context? Well, they're not random. These are all the players who have outplayed Kevin Durant in the first round of the NBA playoffs. I've seen a lot of things in my
day. Hey, no holds barred, man. Y'all saw what the Boston Celtics did to Kevin Durant. Y'all saw it, bro. Y'all all saw it. Y'all all witnessed it. And I'm gonna let you know right now. It ain't gonna happen against the Bucks, y'all. Y'all saw game 1 against the Bucks, man. I was a stinker. That was a stinker. Hey, I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna upload this video today, and I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow with Suns and Mavs and Heat and
After
Philly.
being held as the favorites
I'm sorry I
coming
didn't
into
give
the
y'all that.
2022 NBA
I'm gonna
season,
give
the
y'all
Nets
this
have been
instead.
bounced out of the playoffs in a first-round sweep thanks to arguably the worst playoff series of Kevin Durant's career.
For sure.
Is this the worst?
People like to say, this is my last time pausing the video, by the way. People like to say 2016, the Western Conference Finals, he was just missing his shots. This was an actually bad game. Like, this was an actually, like, bad series for him, man. And it was embarrassing to watch, I'm not gonna lie. Especially for Kevin Durant's caliber. Like, people have him top 15 all the time. He should not be playing like this at all.
Of run we've ever seen from an NBA superstar? Or is Durant just the latest addition to a long list of all-time greats with all-time playoff meltdowns?
Could be. We've seen it happen before. Hey, subscribe to the man Jxmyhighroller, man.
Was brought to you by SeatGeek.
Hey, SeatGeek, I'm about to use you with the Celtics make the NBA Finals, but right now, yeah, no. We're skipping straight through it, buddy. I'm sorry.
It's a concert.
Everybody use code Jimmy.
Bulls are facing the Orlando Magic in the second round of the NBA playoffs. Michael Jordan had just returned to the NBA 6 weeks prior after his first retirement and was still shaking off the rust. The Bulls knew the Magic were going to be a tough matchup, but at the time, no one knew just how dominant this Magic squad was. Only 27 years later can we look back on this game and say that it would go down as the worst playoff performance in Michael Jordan's entire career.
Alright.
Finishing off Charlotte on Thursday night.
I can't wait till I keep facing Wilson on the top left of my screen, bro. I cannot wait. Hey, one day, man.
Jordan slicing through, and didn't get one there.
I think I remember somebody talking about this series.
Longley up front, Jordan and Armstrong.
They said that this was Jordan's like worst series.
That's his favorite spot on the floor for that spot-up jump shot. Shot it very well.
Damn.
Ray over at the Chicago bench telling us it's over. Jordan.
Damn, I've never seen Jordan miss like this.
And the third, Jordan did not have the shot. Jordan. Now Grant over to help.
Oh my God, Horace Grant. Oh my God. Oh my God, the defense. Wow. It's the same thing like Kevin Durant. The defense is just amazing. It was this Horace Grant, Penny Hardaway, Shaq. I mean, damn. Probably other guys are forgetting about some too much of the casual, but
19 points, 8 turnovers, 36% from the field, and 0 for 2 from 3. The worst playoff stat line of Michael Jordan's career.
8 turnovers.
The Bulls went on to lose this game, and Michael ended up with a game score of 2.6. An average playoff game score from an average NBA player is about 8, which means that for a single game, Michael Jordan played considerably worse than an average player. On that night, MJ wasn't the best player on the court.
Not even
second, or third, or fourth. In fact, Michael had one of the worst games of anyone that suited him.
Will Purdue be better than you on the court, bro? Will Purdue? Hey, shout out Will Purdue, that's the Spurs legend.
Probably last time you'll see MJ at the bottom
I know my history.
Sort of list on this
Quit playing with me. I know my NBA history, bro.
This infamous 1995 playoff game because after seeing Kevin Durant play in this year's playoffs, I began to wonder, how bad can things truly get for an NBA
Hey, he was just really
It's one thing to miss some shots, get on a bad run and find yourself struggling to get out of it. It's a completely different thing to collapse for an entire playoff series as your team gets swept out of the first round of the playoffs.
Crazy, if you have Kevin Durant taking 11 shots, bro, Bruce Brown taking more shots than Kevin Durant, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Durant's 14-year NBA career,
the fact that they still want that nigga,
seen him play
that nigga Steve
or
Nash
even
is
act
crazy
like
to
this
me.
on the court.
Like,
KD was playing so bad that I was genuinely wondering if he was dealing with some sort of serious injury. Are KD and Kyrie beefing or something? Did Durant bet against the Nets in this series? Bro. I'm being serious. Those are genuine questions. I've never seen Durant look so hesitant and disengaged and just off. The last time we saw KD in the playoffs, he was averaging 35 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists a game, while carrying the Nets and nearly taking down the eventual champs.
Here we go with that damn foot on the line bullshit again, bro. If he didn't have his foot on the line, oh my god, they probably would have NBA championship.
There's a steady increase in production and efficiency for over a decade. Even last season, at 32 years old, after not playing basketball for a year, his numbers were still off the charts. Now, here's the scoring numbers from this year's playoffs. I'm looking at a cliff right now. From the Kevin Durant we all know to this player that seems so unsure of himself.
Hey, niggas like to say the man need Curry. I mean, look where he peaked at. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate, man. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
We all watched this series unfold, and we saw just how bad he was playing. But the extent of his troubles goes much further than you may think. The Nets are the only team that didn't win a single playoff game in this year's playoffs.
Damn.
This is the same team that was favorited to win the finals at the start of the season. Well,
hey, we told y'all from the start,
with the subtraction
we
of
run
James
from no
Harden
one.
and the addition of Ben Simmons.
He doesn't
Ben Simmons.
This guy doesn't have it. There's no dog in him. There's no dog.
It says Seth and Jim fight for their playoff lives while Ben Simmons dressed up like yo, he's just sitting there, bro.
There's no dog in the guy. He's soft.
But I asked,
bro, they said that man played 23 hours of fucking Warzone, bro, because of his Discord, dog. That shit was real, by the way. He had the NFT profile picture and everything, bro. Oh, that's funny.
Is this the worst playoff run from a superstar ever? There's been some bad showings over the years. Playoff series that made us question
LeBron in 2011, I think it's more of a stinker, bro. I'm just saying.
But was Kevin Durant's
you can't be the best player of all time and score 8 points in a damn finals game.
All-time talent?
Never seen it before.
I checked. I searched through hundreds of playoff series by some of the greatest players in NBA history.
Kobe in the NBA finals.
The answer may not be what you expect.
But I mean, it wasn't really a superstar.
So here's a chart of the worst playoff performances by all-time greats over the last 40 years, with game score on the y-axis and net rating on the x-axis. Now, I only included seasons once a player reached their prime, and immediately there's some key points that jump out. This region, right here, is the legacy tarnishing region. If a player has a playoff series that lands them in this region, it will inevitably
Christopher Emmanuel Paul, why are you in there, bro? Come on, man.
Harsh criticisms of that player and their abilities as a whole. Within this region, you will find a handful of the worst playoff series by some of the greatest players of all time. But you know what series you won't find in this region? LeBron's 2011 finals against the Mavericks.
Oh, I was just talking about that.
Introducing the all-new Infinity QX.
While we're sitting here, y'all, I'm put you on Yo Place.
In
this
style.
shit is fire as fuck, bro. Like, for real.
I've been everywhere, man.
Start your day off with this shit, man. This shit will boost your energy, bro. And a body armor. Shh.
One of the all-time biggest playoff meltdowns in NBA history, and it's not even close to one of the worst series by a superstar that we've ever seen. Here's Stephen Curry's 2016 Finals performance, where after winning the first and only unanimous MVP in league history, Curry had an absolute meltdown in the finals. His team blew a 3-1 lead, and to this day, he hasn't heard the end of it.
Michael Jordan's
as monumental as LeBron's collapse was in 2011, Curry's collapse in 2016 was even worse. Or what about Kobe Bryant's disastrous performance in the 2004 NBA Finals, where in his prime, Kobe averaged just 22 points per game on 38% shooting from the field and a dreadful 17% shooting from 3 for the series. The Lakers nearly got swept by the Pistons winning just 1 game in the series,
like
and Kobe would walk away from those 5 games with the worst playoff stretch of his entire career. This was one of the worst playoff series by a superstar in league history. But somehow, Shaquille O'Neal matched this piss-poor performance with a meltdown of his own.
Bro, that's because of his damn free throws.
With Dwayne Wade carrying the load for the Miami Heat, Shaquille O'Neal had the worst stretch of playoff games in his entire career.
Damn.
14 points and 10 rebounds a game, while shooting just 29% from the free throw line and being an all-out liability on defense.
29% from the free throw line, bro, making it look like Nicholas Claxton in this
score throughout this 6-game series, 9.6. Literally equal to that of an average performance by an average NBA player in the finals. The man scored 5 points in Game 2 and just 9 points in Game 6.
Bro, dominant Shaq
should have been a huge black mark on Shaq's legacy. But it's not. 16 years later, and no one even remembers the fact that Shaq was getting benched in the NBA Finals. But
I gotta go back and watch that too. I want to go back and watch that.
2014, Dwayne Wade put together the worst finals appearance by a superstar in modern NBA history.
When was this?
15 3 and 3 a game on 43% shooting and finishing the series with an average game score of just 7.9 and a net rating of -7.8.
That's so
a series this bad in the finals kind of makes you wonder how a performance like this went free of virtually any criticism. Maybe in the moment Stephen A. Smith spouted out a well-worded monologue, but that's about it. 8 years later, and this series collapse from Dwayne Wade might as well have never even happened.
Bring back the patches on the
and believe it or not, there have been multiple superstars that virtually never had a bad playoff run. Here's Tracy McGrady's worst playoff series against the Jazz in 2007. Here's Dirk's worst playoff series against the Rockets in 2005. Larry Bird and Kawhi Leonard have never had a bad playoff series once they entered their prime. And with impossibly great consistency is Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. Pretty much being the best all the time no matter what. So, if these are the worst playoff series by some of the greatest players of all time, where does Durant's Round 1 series against the Celtics land? Well, right here. Far from some of the worst playoff runs we've ever seen. Did Durant have a good first round series? No. Far from it, especially by his standards.
And it wasn't the worst ever.
Let's look at the big picture here. The man averaged 26, 7, and 6 a game, and nearly had a 40-point triple-double in the closing game of the series. Now sure, we're used to seeing even more from Kevin Durant, and the fact that the Nets got swept out of the first round certainly doesn't help his case.
True.
But I mean, which is worse? Putting together a masterpiece of a choke job in the finals with a championship on the line.
That's what I'm saying.
Getting bounced out of the first round of the playoffs long before you even had a shot. If you think this is the worst meltdown from a superstar in the playoffs, I've got some news for you. It's not even close.
And I just said
that we've ever seen and will ever see out of Kevin Durant, then it's a whole lot better than what we've seen from other all-time greats. Kobe was a shell of himself in a final series that nearly ended up in a sweep. Shaq was getting benched in the NBA Finals. But because the Miami Heat walked away with the championship thanks to Dwayne Wade turning into God himself in a Heat jersey, Shaq's performance got swept under the rug. Back in 2010, Kevin Garnett averaged just 10 points per game the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals. But the Celtics still won in 6, so I guess we'll just act like that never happened. Don't get me wrong, seeing Kevin Durant go over 10 in the second half of a playoff game almost feels like some sort of dream. Like I should be waking up any moment now. Watching Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving default to Bruce Brown in the playoffs would just be the least likely thing I'd ever thought I'd see on an NBA.
I said that earlier.
But the fact is, no matter how good a player is, no matter what legacy they've spent years building, every single player has had a playoff run they wish they could get back. A series where they wish they could hit the reset button on and get another chance at. And this round 1 series just happens to be Kevin Durant's.
I'm letting you guys know if we meet up with Kevin Durant the Brooklyn Nets next year, bro. I'm kind of scared because Kevin Durant will torch. Hey, man. I reacted to that video. I know who's going to win the 2022 NBA Championship. Let me know if you guys want to see that. That was actually a while ago. That was actually, you know, a couple weeks ago. But I'm about to get out of here. Another W video from Jxmyhighroller. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to me. I'm out this bit.